I want to see if we're aligned on this.
Okay.
What are the possible scenarios that you think are going on with a coaching client who continually begs you to do more?
Yeah, so let's break it down first into there are different types of this client, right? So there's one client who continually begs you to do more, but they're not even doing what you're already giving them, right? So it's like, but I want more, I want more. Or the person who's like, I want you to lower my calories. It's like, but you're not even hitting these. Like, you keep going way over. So why am I going to reduce it even more? Or the person who's like, oh, could we do like 5 training days? It's like, you've been like 40% consistent with 3 training days. So why would I do that?
And I want to make a quick distinction. I was talking specifically about training frequency, training volume, more exercises, longer workouts, sweatier workouts. I actually, with certain clients, there are clients who it's like, if you're not hitting these calories, why would we reduce them? But then there are certain instances where a rapid fat loss phase makes sense, or like a shorter challenge makes sense. But continue. But because that's interesting, because I didn't even consider the client who wants more training volume, who's not actually doing the workouts.
Yeah. I mean, my immediate thought went to like the whole, it depends, right? And I was like, well, what does it depend on? It depends on the client. And like, here are the different types of clients that might be saying that. I will say, in terms of the client who's like, hey, I want you to reduce my calories, but they haven't actually been hitting it anyway. You're right. I would say like the main instance for me would be it wouldn't just be me indefinitely reducing their calories. It would be me being like, hey, for 7 days, let's do a 7-day challenge where let's try and do this, like to like prove it will work if you actually stick with it. But the other client who wants more is the person who is actually doing everything, but they're just like a glutton for punishment. And they also like, they love it. Like they truly love working out. Like they get a lot from it mentally and emotionally. They like really like beating themselves into the ground, like almost masochistic in that sense. And the way that I often look at it is not everything needs to be optimal on paper, right? Like in terms of sometimes I will give someone who doesn't like working out something that's not optimal on paper, but will allow them to be consistent with it because the enjoyment factor, and because it'll just help them with consistency. So a lot of times with those people they're being super consistent with their training, their nutrition, their sleep, and they just want more, I'm not just going to say no just because it's not optimal. Like, very few things in life are optimal. I will give them something, and usually I'll make it something ridiculously hard with as low of an impact and as low of a stress on their nervous system as possible, so that it has the least amount of negative effect on it. Because if I don't write it for them, they will either add it themselves and probably do something stupid, or they'll find another coach who's going to just drive them into the ground. So I'll find ways to make it more difficult for them without making it inappropriate.